Hello, children. This is Grandma's Angels coming to you again with another new message. And as you can see behind me, I've got this name, Jackie Robinson. He lived before you were born, so you may not, that name may not be familiar to you. But I want to tell you a little bit about him. It's a very powerful story. Jackie Robinson was the first person to break the color barrier in Major League Baseball when he was picked up by the Brooklyn Dodgers to play on their team in 1947. It took courage and sacrifice on his part. He had to endure bitter discrimination at this time in 1947. Manager of the Dodgers team, Rickey, who signed Jackie Robinson onto the Dodgers, asked Jackie in his office one day a very important question. He said, "Jackie, can you control your temper?" And Jackie responded with, "Do you want a player that doesn't have the guts to fight back?" And Rickey, in his wisdom, said, "I want the kind of player that has the courage to not fight back. Like our Savior Jesus Christ, you have to turn the cheek. You have to have the courage to turn the other cheek, because much discrimination is going to come against you. Many racial slurs are going to be thrown at you from the opposing teams, from the audience, and you have got to have the courage not to fight back. Focus on the game, play your best, and that's my question to you. Do you have control of your temper?" Jackie Robinson thought for a moment, and then he finally responded, "Branch, you give me a uniform, you give me a number on my back, and I will give you guts not to fight back. I will have courage." So with that, Rickey hired him as one of the players on the Dodgers baseball team. So baseball was a big thing back at this time of living. Anyway, there was a man called Ben Chapman that when Jackie Robinson was up to bat or out in the field running bases, Ben Chapman came out from an opposing team. He came out from the dugout and he would harass Jackie Robinson very bitterly, calling him many, many names and yelling it as loud as he could and cheering. The audience was cheering like, "More, more, give it to Jackie Robinson, more." And it was publicly very degrading manner that Ben Chapman was doing to Jackie Robinson. Jackie Robinson stayed focused. He ran the bases, he hit the ball, he'd catch the ball. He stayed focused on the game. But don't think for one moment that he did not hear all those terrible, degrading insults that was being hurled at him, and the hundreds and thousands of people in the audience cheering on Ben Chapman to say more vicious, cruel things. Jackie heard it all, but he stayed focused to the game, okay? Can we do that? I would hope that we could. But it's a very, very hard position that Jackie Robinson was in. And the reason his name stands out was because he was the first color indoctrinated into a professional sports, professional baseball game. So one day, another young player from an opposing team walked across the field, walked right up to Jackie Robinson, put his arm around Jackie's shoulder, and told him, "I'm proud to know who you are. You are taking these insults one right after another and staying focused on the game. I'm proud to know you, and I'm proud that you are on a professional team." And with that, now the audience didn't hear what Eddie Stanky was saying to Jackie Robinson, but the fact that he put his arm around Jackie quieted the crowd down. Now the crowd got very quiet. and the game went forward. And the reason I tell you that story is because, and I want to add this, when a reporter asked Ben Chapman, what do you want to be known for in this game? Ben Chapman very proudly on national TV said, I want to be remembered as one of the greatest baseball players of all time. He never got that. You know what Ben Chapman is remembered for? His degrading insults to Jackie Robinson. So who got the recognition for one of the greatest baseball players, and his name went down in Baseball Hall of Fame? Who was that? Jackie Robinson. Okay, so this kind of goes along with bullying, but children, I just want you to know this story. I hope that you'll watch the movie 42. That's what it's called, 42. I hope you'll watch that movie. It's very powerful. It's very inspiring. You'll see the courage that it took Jackie Robinson to endure and not fight back. When somebody hurls you insults, do not fight back. Withstand them. I always tell you self-talk. Tell yourself you know who you are, okay? Because that bully will always be remembered as the high school bully. You can grow into whatever you choose to be in this life, just as Jackie Robinson did. All the odds were against Jackie Robinson, but he surpassed all those odds. He changed it, and many men of color followed him in professional sports. But I would say Jackie Robinson was one of the pioneers. He was one of the first ones to overcome racial discrimination. And he came out of it very well because everybody loved him after this. So that's my story today. I hope that you children got something out of it. I do hope that you'll watch the movie, and it's just called 42, okay? Remember, you are stronger than you think you are. When Jackie Robinson was called into Branch Rickey's office, he didn't know what Branch was calling him in there for, but he rose to the challenge. And he overcame, conquered, and he's one of the best remembered baseball players of all time. A great man he was. So I say this and I hope that this story will do something for somebody out there. Have courage, have sacrifice, just like Jackie Robinson did and just like Jesus Christ did. Okay? You have a wonderful day, and remember to be your best you and always be kind to others. All right. We'll talk to you later, children. Bye-bye.